I just had my dog taken to get his winter cut.
Yeah. What kind of a cut did he get? Did he get the Mark Davis? That's a pretty good look for a dog right there.
Mike, we're talking NFL free agency, right? We have the Super Bowl coming up. We're taking our 1.0 look into the March 13th start to the NFL free agency season. These things usually go pretty fast in the first 2 days, but we're taking a look at running backs right now. Your top running backs that are going to be free agents this year. Mike, I know the first one we're going to talk about holds a very special place in your heart. Saquon Barkley. What do you think happens with Saquon Barkley being a free agent this year?
Here's the thing. I still am almost certain if Saquon Barkley played on a team that didn't have Tommy DeVito at quarterback and a bunch of guys who they've picked up off of the shipyard at offensive line, I feel like he is just as good as McCaffrey, or he has that kind of potential. I really think Barkley is on a better team, might be the best running back in football. And we have not seen any, have you watched any New York Giants games over the past 5 years? He gets the ball and there are 5 guys in the backfield by the time he has a chance to make a cut. It's insane. He has had the worst offensive line play, I swear, that I've seen. So I would love to see Barkley go somewhere else, but he keeps on re-signing and being franchised by the Giants. And he has said that he wants to be a Giant for his entire career, which is interesting. I would have to think at a certain point, Barkley is going to want out of there. And if I was to pick a place for him, man, let me think on this. This is off the top of my head. Now I have to tell our Buford Sports Network viewers, this is all unprompted. Dirk is just popping these on me. Saquon Barkley would be a fascinating player. Man, what if you put Barkley? We'll stay one in the AFC, one in the NFC. Or how about this, Dirk? I'll plop him on an AFC team. You go on an NFC team. What if Barkley ended up in Tennessee?
Why would you do that if you're Tennessee? All right, let's just personally, I'm just saying, why would you move from Derrick Henry, who the fans love and is a free agent, and we'll talk about here in a second, and put Saquon? Now, look, I think that you could. Yeah, that's exactly right. He's younger, less miles on it. However, the NFC team I see him probably going to, if he did go somewhere, is the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dallas is a really interesting possibility. I mean, there's a chance that he ends up in some random team that has no direction right now, like the Patriots, too. I mean, just someone who has cap space, but again, it's going to be another New York Giants situation.
Also, thinking about free agency, dude, the Patriots, they now have a new GM, new coach, right? Yeah. You're not going to see the Moneyball type of players, or just it was always just the abyss of fantasy football. Don't take a Patriot. You never know who's going to get the ball each week. You know what I'm saying? Don't take them unless it's Gronkowski, or unless it's another tight end that we won't speak of. So I mean, while just weird to think about the Patriots not having Belichick. All right, some other names, and there's just notable names when you go down the free agency list for running backs, right? Josh Jacobs, he is also a free agent this year. We just said it earlier, but from the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry, the most brutal. Oh my God, I never wanted to have to try and tackle that man. Is going to be a free agent this year, right? Swift from the Philadelphia Eagles, Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys. These are all free agents this year, and notably from the AFC West, Austin Eckler will be a free agent this year as well. Mike, any of those names stand out to you as big names that really could make a difference on a team?
Well, a number of them. I think out of those names, probably Jacobs is the one that to me is the most lucrative because he's younger and he has been more durable. I think Eckler. You just look at the guy. I mean, he is such a beast, but he is not the biggest guy physically. I mean, he's built super muscular, but I just wonder how durable he's going to be as his career goes on. Derrick Henry has so many miles at this point. You might get one or two decent seasons out of him left, but I feel like he's probably like Adrian Peterson towards the end of his career. Jacobs is the one who is still in his prime. I think the Raiders have got to try and re-sign him, honestly. I mean, I feel like they've got to try to do that. I don't know about you, Dirk, but he's one of their core guys.
It has to be. I mean, obviously the backups filled in really well when he was out this year and injured. But, I mean, he's been a hit for them for sure. Like, they nailed that draft pick, and I don't know why you try and not sign him. There's the theory with running backs is that, after 3-4 years, you move on. You don't pay running backs, right? That's been the theory over the last, 10 years, I guess you could say. But these guys that we're talking about, I think they're proven. And Josh Jacobs is proven. I think he's one of the few that is a workhorse that he's an every down back. Now, we just talked about the likes of Austin Eckler. I'm right there with you. The durability. He has to be a change of pace back. He cannot be an every down back. It's kind of like the same thing that you saw out of Minnesota this year, right? Madison is not an every down back. He plays really well when he's paired with someone else, but not an every down back. Now, Kareem Hunt, who was a change of pace back when Chubb was around, not as great, but he did actually pretty dang well. I mean, you got to look at what Hunt did after Chubb went down, and I thought he did well this year. But the other one to even think about, right, is the likes of Ezekiel Elliott. He's done with his 1-year contract with the Patriots. He has the possibility of being signed. J.K. Dobbins, he will be a free agent this year. The two that are also interesting, Zach Moss, who played really well in the absence of Jonathan Taylor with the Indianapolis Colts. He'll be a free agent. And then finally, Devin Singletary. I mean, he took the role of what Pierce could have been and should have been this year and really turned that Houston team into something dynamic at the end of the year. So tons of running backs in the free agency. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of the fireworks happen in the free agency.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that plays out. That's our first take on it.
A really scary landing spot for a back. And again, I don't know entirely what their cap situation is, but a team that is poised to win and maybe spend, in theory, what if the Houston Texans ended up landing Saquon Barkley or even Austin Eckler? I think that the Texans suddenly become kind of a scary thing if they pick up a veteran running back who's still very talented like that.
That's a good pick, Mike, because the Houston Texans are top 5 in cap space going into this year. The Houston Texans have $65 million of cap space to work with.
Yeah. So I think Houston definitely is a place. Now, a destination that does not have a whole lot of cap space, but once again needs a running back is the Denver Broncos, because Javonte Williams probably at this point doesn't look to be the long-term solution. Samaje Perine filled in admirably last year, and Jaleel McLaughlin is a rookie. You just don't know. But the Broncos probably need a running back too.
Yeah, the Broncos are in a world of hurt next year. $25 million over the cap space as it stands right now going into next year. But you know who's in the worst spot really for cap space, talking about running backs and future? The New Orleans Saints. $87 million over cap space going into next year.
Yeah, they have a deferred contract mess or something in New Orleans. I mean, it's madness out there. But yeah, running backs.